it's Margaret, and it is Monday, so I'm bringing you the weekly sales update. And it was a really good week. Pretty random because I was not expecting to have a great sales week, but I sold a couple of higher ticket items, which really helped out the numbers. This past week, most of you, if you're parents anyway, you know it's spring break. Spring break just ended for us, and so, oh my gosh, I had such high hopes. I took all these pictures before spring break and thought, okay, at least I have the pictures done and I can list. Oh my goodness, no. If I got 2 or 3 listings done a day, I was doing good. So I'm pretty happy that my sales turned out okay. So let's talk about the numbers. So I'm going to show you Etsy first, and then we'll come back and do eBay. Let me kind of squish things around. Here we go. So these are Corncob Pipes, and they are sugar, salt and pepper shakers. And I'm going to tell you a story because that's me, you know. When I was teaching first grade one year, a little boy came. He was lining up to come into the room, and he said, "Miss Collier, where's your corncob pipe?" And I said, why would I have a corncob pipe? He goes, "Because when you get to be an old lady, you got to smoke a corncob pipe." So when I saw these corncob pipe salt and pepper shakers, I thought of Jacoby and the corncob pipe that's in my future. So yeah, so these were definitely novelty corncob pipes. They were Kentucky. Anyway, I bought them because of that one reason. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would buy corncob pipes. But I paid $1 for them. They sold for $11.99. And my net after shipping and fees was $10.56. So not bad, but they did sit for quite a while. So, and then this little fella, this Snoopy, sold, and I was pretty happy that he sold because there were some that were listed that other people had that looked a little bit nicer. He was pretty messed up and had some definite wear and tear to him, but I paid $2 for him. He was one of my ones that I fell off the wagon and was not plugging things into my spreadsheet, so I didn't know exactly what I paid for him. But I don't see myself paying more than $2, maybe $3 because he was in such rough shape, probably less. But he sold for $14.99, and the shipping was a little bit high because I believe this one went internationally. So my net ended up being $16.73 because of the shippingness, like that. We can do that. Okay, and then this is a little teeny tiny display case. Let me show you I need to find a way I can get there, so you can see the display. So this is a teeny tiny little display case that would be perfect for a thimble. And so this was in my grandmother's, and it sold for $14.99, and the thimble was just there for size. I put that in my listing. Thimble not included. See that down there? Thimble not included. So sold for $14.99, and after shipping and fees, my net was $14.37. And then this was I think I told you that was my grandmother's. This was also one of my grandmother's. This is a weeping gold sort of decorative bowl that we had. This one sold for $19.99. And again, excuse me, after shipping and fees, my net was $21.61. And then 2 lots of thimbles sold. This was a single that went by itself, and then I had a lot of thimbles go. So this was a bone carved thimble, and this one was not listed on eBay because they are very strict about bone and ivory. Even if it's not bone, I learned the hard way because I had a listing pulled down. I listed it, it was bone, but they wanted to know like what country did it come from and what kind of animal did it come from, and it was very strict. So be very careful if you're planning on listing anything like that. You live and learn, though. So this one, where did you go? There you are. The 2 lots, okay, I'm going to have to show you the 2 lots because I didn't put their individual prices down. This was the lot that sold of the other thimbles. They're vintage sewing thimbles. They're just a variety. And I put in there kisses because if you have seen Peter Pan, they give a kiss and it's a thimble. So that was just an extra little funsy. So for the lot of those two thimbles, it went for $52.98. After shipping and fees, my net there was $49.91. I just had a cha-ching. Yay. It was a baseball hat. You'll see that next week. So those two went the net $49.91. So pretty good. Okay. This listing is like the picture of what not to do. So I'm super glad that it's sold so I could show you. First of all, this is like one of the first things. This is before I ever moved. So this is probably 3 years old. This is old. Maybe two or 3 years old. Is before I moved. So you can see I took the picture on carpet because I didn't know better. My listing is terrible. Like the title, I didn't put in there that, well, obviously this is mid-century. I mean, there was so many other things I could have put in here, advertising, blah, blah, blah. Pretty bad. So, but it's sold, and I'm super happy about that. But yeah, don't do this. Don't take a picture on carpet. I mean, I guess if you have to, but a lot of people don't like it. Let's put it that way. So whatever. Anyway, this one sold. This one this was an international sale. So they bought it for $9.99, but my net ended up being $11.58 because of the shipping discrepancy with the internationalness of it. But yeah, I'm glad that this popped up because I really, yeah, I need to do a whole other thing about refreshing listings for helps. All right, moving on to eBay. Scooching back up. So these earrings sold, and oh my goodness, I made a big boo-boo on this one too. So I picked these earrings up for $1.50, and they sold for $12, but the problem was the shipping. I put on there priority shipping instead of first class shipping, and I didn't want a chance sending it, if you have promised a certain level of shipping, that's what you need to deliver. So it took a big chunk out of my, profit there. So I only profited $2.85 on these, even though I took a $12. I had to send them priority because I guess I could have messaged the person, but I didn't want to chance it personally. I did the right thing. All right, and then this is some vintage wrapping paper. Bought this for 10 cents. It sold, I took a best offer of $11. And so after shipping and fees, my net was $12.35. Is that right? Yep, that's right. And then the Thai Beanie Buddy sold. So he was not one of the little ones. He was bigger. He was a bigger one. I can scooch this a little bit now. Much bigger Thai Beanie Buddy. I bought him for $1 and had a sale going, and he sold for $18.60. And so my net there was $17.41 for that. I think we're going to do a plush challenge coming up soon. And these Hinamatsuri dolls, they're not exactly dolls, but figures. I was super excited about this selling. This is something of my grandmother's, and they've been listed for quite a while too because I was really wanting a high price. I actually came down about $75 on them because I had them listed at about $225. These were done by a Japanese artist, and actually, had a photograph with my grandmother with the artist, when she went to Japan and had them done. And these are sort of like, they have a thing called this girls' festival where you have out all these dolls, and there's the emperor and the empress, and it's a whole thing, and it has to do with bringing good luck, I think, to having your daughter get married in the future. So yeah, it's a whole big thing. I can't explain it completely. Oh, here I put the picture that has, the lady's card, and there was my grandmother with the artist. So yeah. So those sold for $150, and where did you go? I have lost you. Hinamatsuri. There you are. Okay, so they sold for $170. Well, I put $175 there. Ooh, I plugged in the wrong number, so this may be off about $25. So I would say $125 $5.79 would be the profit because I plugged in the wrong number. All right, so yeah. So they sold for $150, so my profit there would be about $125.79. Pretty nice, pretty nice. But it was a wait, for sure. They've been up for 2.5 years maybe, but I waited. I waited. I'm cool with that. And this is one of my 10-cent toy dives. You know, the local charity shop has this bin that has all the little 10-cent toys. So I pulled out this Playmobil white and brown horse, bought for 10 cents, and it sold for, I took a best offer of $8 on it. So after shipping and fees, I have to look, we had to talk about the shipping. Well, I'll tell you in a second. My net there was $9.72. So we had a discussion about the shipping and why some of the discrepancies have been happening. And from what we can gather, I'll have to double check my information though. But what we think is happening is that now that eBay has got first class going up to 16 ounces, if you have it set for 16 ounces on your first class, it still charges like that priority, like lowest priority rate charge. So it ends up being like $6.28. So I need to double check all of my first class stuff and make sure that the weight on there is correct and not at that 16 ounce mark, because it's going to bump it up to that next charge price point or whatever. I think that's what's going on, because some of I haven't had this much trouble with my shipping being off in quite a while. So since that change has happened. So here we have a laurel birch carved wood figure, and he's got some errors and some, you know, little chips and things in him. And it's funny because I got an offer on him not 10 minutes after I listed him, because I had 2 other ones that I was listing, and I hadn't even gotten the next one up yet when I got the offer for this one. So I went back and forth with her because I thought, I just listed this thing. I'm not going to go down too much. But anyway, I did take an offer of $9.99 for that. And after shipping and fees, my net there was $8.81. Not too bad. Did I tell you what I paid for it? $2. Okay. And then this Ariat belt, I just, I shared that, or it was like the little teaser on when I was on J&A, did a haul, one of their haul videos, and he asked me to keep one back to kind of tease to come see my haul video. Anyway, so yeah, this belt sold. I picked it up for $1. I took a best offer of $27 for it, and so my net there was $26.90. And this one's been listed for a long time as well. This was also something of my grandmother's, and you look at my listing, it's really short too. I could have done better with that. Antique Bavaria Love Story cake platter with handles. And basically it's let me see if I can get the picture to pop up for you bigger. Love Story type things have these little vignettes, I guess is what you would call them. Little scenes of people having, you know, little chats under trees and lovers' trysts, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so this sold. I took a best offer of $90. Like I said, though, it has been up there for probably 2 years. But I was willing to wait because it was such a nice piece. I mean, it had some flaws and stuff, but it was really old, really nice. So I was good with waiting. $90 it sold. So after shipping and fees, my net was $75.21. And then finally, a perfume bottle sold. And you guys saw I just shared these not too long ago. So it sold for $20.99. And after shipping and fees, it's got that funky off on the, because I know I listed it as a first class mail. No, it says economy shipping. Okay, you know, I'm going to have to go back and double check all of that. Okay, let's just think about it. $21.43 is the net there. I know some people don't mind like going, you know, making a little bit of the income off of the shipping. But I don't know. I don't mind a little bit, but when it's like numbers of dollars off, I feel kind of not so great about that. But anyway, my numbers, that's what you came here to hear about, not my trials and tribulations with the shipping on eBay. So my total net. Let me scooch this up so I can see a little bit better. So my net for the week was $451.25. So that's well $200 over my normal. But then again, if you think about the two big sales that popped up this week, they definitely were unusual. So they brought me over that 200 mark that I would, 250 mark that I would want to have. So I'm pretty happy with that. And hopefully this, I feel like, I don't know. My brain is not off of that spring break, spring breakness, I guess. Yeah, just take a break. Take a break, take a minute. Trying to get back in the groove of things. Anyway, so very happy with my profits this last week. We have a challenge going on over at the International League of Thrifters this week. It is the Procrastinators Challenge, which I have not gotten to today because of everything. So I've just procrastinated one more day. Basically, the challenge is, what are you putting off listing or photographing or measuring or whatever? And that's what we're going to tackle this week. So for me, it is board games and scarves. I have got them in boatloads. I have so many that I need to get listed. So tomorrow I'm going to be photographing board games and scarves and trying to get as many listed as I possibly can this week. So yes, so if you have not come over to Facebook and join our group, International League of Thrifters, we've got different challenges going on different weeks. We have different things popped up every day, Money Monday and Thrifty Tuesday, or I'm probably saying them wrong. But anyway, there's something different every day, and challenges, and lots of nice people to share your reselling experiences with and get great ideas. So check it out. Come on over, and yeah, we'll see you there. So anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling now. Make sure, you guys, that you like this video, and if you are not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments for me, leave them down below. I do my best to answer everybody, and I definitely read them all. So yeah, anyway, all right. I'm going now because I'm rambling. Make sure you go out and enjoy yourselves, and I will talk to you later. Bye.